Okay, here we are. Very short show tonight. I don't really want to talk about the primaries, they're insignificant. The difference between Trump and Haley was 7,000 votes. The population in New Hampshire doesn't represent America. Lovely people in New Hampshire and Iowa. It's from the age of the horse and buggy. It's created for the stooges to believe that it matters. The votes are not determined there in these communities. The outcome will be determined in the huge cities on the east and west coast, flooded with non-Americans, who will determine once again how we, the people who pay the taxes, will live. Have a nice night. Good night. No. So I'm cooking some zucchini, grilling, a little, and I'm going to make the king of the dish, these beautiful Gulf prawns, which I have kind of steeped, a little bit in olive oil, all important, ginger, garlic, and the all important, a little red pepper in the winter. And I have rice that is cooking here. Yes, it's beautiful white rice. It's organic white rice from Northern California. That was washed first. I'm going to wash rice for 2 minutes to get the talc out of it. You may not know that. I don't even know if they bother doing that in the restaurants. So it's a simple dish, and I will push my zucchinis to the right here. You don't even want to see me. I'll show you the food instead. But I'm kind of the guy who cooks and likes to eat along the way, so I boiled some of these beautiful purple potatoes first. They're beautiful. I like to eat them while I'm cooking, actually. I could fry a few in with the zucchini. They'll taste nice. And I'll put the shrimp in a minute. I got my jade green plates ready to go. I love this color. Look up Celadon pottery. These are not expensive dishes, but the color is extremely rare. There are 6 or 7 varieties of Celadon, which originated in China, the color. I happen to have collected pottery from that era. Very, very rare. It was taught to me by a friend of mine 40 years ago who was a parasitologist who spent a lot of time in Thailand, Borneo, and Asia, and taught me all around ancient ceramics. I got to be careful not to burn these. I won't eat it, obviously. They get overdone, so I'll pull them out and put them in a napkin if need be. So I could put this on a stand. What's on television now? Again, The Godfather. I wonder why they're playing it over and over again. Why? Duh. It's not that there's a message. It's that we don't want to watch anything anymore. That, The Sopranos. Okay, well, I see that the rice has now gone to the next stage. It's really almost ready for me to put into the frying pan. So I'm going to put my shrimp in, my prawns. That's the sound that a man likes to hear. Human, say human. Can't say man anymore. At the end of the day, it's humans like the sound of food. Right? Now, my only question that remains, I have a couple of questions how I want to cook my dish tonight. And don't get me started, because I can go on a diatribe. If you've been following me on Twitter, you know what's going on. I dared suggest that certain people who are talentless, who have thrived in the conservative radio business, who attack the deep state every day, may in fact be the deep state. They went crazy. One of them in particular, I never could believe such hatred came from him. And it leads me to think I touched a bit of a raw nerve with Bongo. Oh yeah, big man. Threaten me. You don't know who you're fucking with. Oh, what a dangerous, dangerous, muscle-bound fool. Beware the loudmouth. Well, the shrimp are cooking nicely. In fact, it got me to think, since I got about 10 times the number of impressions on Twitter that I normally get, because Bongo went crazy, Most of you don't know who he is. He's a talentless hack who was put in there, in my opinion, by very, very interesting circumstances. The man has nothing to offer to the media. I mean, he and the others just repeat the same stories over and over again. And they make you think that they're geniuses. Yet, if you can tell me one thing this man has ever said that you'll remember, I'll give you a reward. So I feel my legacy is established. My writings are established in a major literary museum, meaning a major museum. And my plant collections are in a... there are people who supported me in this thing on Twitter. And someone posted a picture of me from 1983 collecting plants in Fiji that was turned into an oil painting by a then friend of mine. And my friend on Twitter said, Michael did things for humanity before you were even born. So what can you do? There are people who are just stupid and jealous and lucky. But they're really not lucky. If they're that mean and thin-skinned, so it made me write something. Wait a minute, I got to think of my dinner. I think I got to do two things quickly is more important than Bongo, who will never be remembered in the history of the world. I mean, if it matters to you, if you just want to make money and, go live in a big house somewhere, I mean, he'll do fine. Like all the other phony conservatives who say they're in it for the small guy. The fifth column, okay? Let me read you something. Just let me finish flipping my prawns, and I'll read you something I wrote. Then I won't talk about the primaries in New Hampshire. What the hell is there to talk about? What do you think I am, Fox News? Oh, I'm going to get excited. Oh, Trump won. Oh, hey. March to the White House. Trump won. I mean, Haley came in within 7,000 votes. That's actually frightening when you think about it. So at the behest of turning the phone around, so you could see me reading this to you. Yeah, Michael Corleone this, Michael Corleone that. They made things up. I didn't say anything. What? That's like the hearings that we have now. They're about as legitimate. Chi-Chi is about as legitimate as we have now. So there it is. Now, what should I do? You want me to put a little white wine in there? Or a little chicken broth, and then a little red sauce? What am I asking you for? You're not here. Because everyone has an opinion. As someone once said, everyone has an opinion, like they have a you-know-what in the back of their body. It's okay. We all have opinions. That's what makes us alive. So this is frying nicely. I may say that the zucchini are a little too oily. I mean, I could remove them, put them on a napkin. I don't have the patience. What I'm going to do is get my rice into here. Let me flip the camera for you. Uh-oh, wrong one. There we go. Hey, you good-looking guy. Look, I'm an older guy. I don't worry about my looks that much. I do. So far, I've aged well. It's from not clean living. It's from worrying a lot, drinking a lot, and watching every bite that I put in my mouth. People are worried about worrying. I'm going to tell you something about worrying. It's not the worrying that will kill you. It's worrying about worrying that'll kill you. If you're worrying, so what? It's like having insomnia. So get up and think. Use your brain. It's not going to kill you. People never died from insomnia. They died from worrying about insomnia. It's a little bit of advice from someone who had insomnia and has it off and on his whole life. You don't need as much sleep as you think you do. So before I continue with my cooking, wait a minute. I just said the rice is done. That's more important than, yeah, it is done. Keep warm. Okay. The question I have for myself is, how do I want to finish the dish? Not what some fifth columnist says. So first I'm going to read you what I wrote. Then I'm going to get on with the cooking. I'll let it cook out a little bit more. Shall I read it to you? Yes or no? Of course, I don't care what you say. I do care, but I can't see it that well. I have to read every comment now. Savage as Irish wit and wisdom. Thank God somebody understands wit and wisdom in this age of lumpen stupidity, repeating talking points and thinking that they're Metternich. You'll never remember any of them. Of the top people in radio have never said a word that you'll ever remember. I can't think of anything. Have any of them ever said anything equal to borders, language, and culture? No. Or liberalism is a mental disorder? No. I mean, those are just two of my witticisms. I don't know of anything any of them have ever said that'll ever be remembered. So, tonight's dish is called Why the Left Keeps Winning, or The Truth About the Right. Oh, they're going to love this one. Women fear and loathe bullies, thugs, and loudmouths. Worse yet, too many, quote, patriots, wow, are really just clever businessmen in disguise. You scratch away the makeup, and there you may find a cynic, believing only in self-aggrandizement and self-gain. Add to this the right slaughter of Earth's innocent animals, hunting not for food but for sport, not comprehending that conserve means to protect the innocent, not to kill the innocent for sport. And then there is the likelihood that some in the so-called right, on the so-called right, are in fact the very deep state players they pretend to despise. Agents provocateurs, the fifth column, marching alongside the patriots, but working for the Soviets who control all. Gathering your names through their social media and other, quote, conservative outlets, sharing them with the enemy within. Just a thought, one man's opinion. Look, I was in the business of radio for years, and I've been podcasting as long as I want to. And I've always said, I call them like I see them. It may be uncomfortable for you, but don't crucify me for the truth, or what may be the truth, or what makes some people nervous who pretend to be your friend, but are there only to collect your names for the deep state while attacking the deep state. Ha ha! Ho ho! And now you have that. Well, these are nice. So, folks, they're looking good. I could pour red sauce all over them and rice, which is my instinct, is to make a gigantic sloppy Mike's dish here. I don't know that I want to make something elegant. Why does everything have to be elegant? Or I could just not put sauce on it and grin and bear it, eat it the way it is with some nice rice on top of it mixed in. I could fry the rice, or I could leave the rice white. Look at the choices you have now. I could turn the heat down, which I'm going to do. Okay. And now I have a choice. Again, what do I want to do with this masterpiece? Well, I want to turn my prawns, my Gulf prawns, which are looking nice, right? Garlic, ginger, Robert De Niro. He had me fooled for years. I mean, he played this tough guy like Mongo, and all along he wasn't. He was a slime bag, a hater, a thug, a bully, a mook, a bum, while calling Trump a mook and a bum. I'm sure Trump doesn't like me anymore, and I don't care one way or the other, because he's not winning. I'm telling you, I hate to pop your bubble. He's not winning. Listen, I know certain things. He doesn't have the numbers to win, number one. And I don't care if 86 million of us vote for him, and I'm going to vote for him. Don't get me wrong. Don't quote me wrong either. But he can't win. There's just too many on the other side, and too many illegals have been brought in. And then there's the old machine jobs, okay? So get ready for another horrible Soviet era. They could put a corpse up there, but it won't be Biden. Look at my previous podcasts, please. By the way, would you hit the like button and subscribe right now, or I'm never going to do this again. I'm sick of this. I'm actually thinking of retiring for good. I think it's all futile. All I like doing is observing. I'm fundamentally an observer and a commentator. And I call them as I see them. And some people like me and some don't. 26 years is a long time in the radio business. Successful podcast. No matter what people may tell you, I love people who say, oh, I thought you were dead. And I said, sir, I don't know you, but you must be dead above the neck. Or they say, you're irrelevant. I said, and look at that, you're here. I mean, who are these people? They're put there by the bongos. And the Hannity team. You talk about a fraudulent deep state guy. If Hannity's not deep state, I'll eat my prawns. So now I got to go get my rice. I still don't know if I want to mix it in with my prawns and my zucchini or eat them separate. I think I need to make a mixture. What do you think, folks? I can't read what you're saying anyway because I'm holding it in one hand. So it doesn't matter what you say. I'll read it later and see what you said. Taste my prawn. Not ruining my beautiful pan. By the way, no, these are not Teflon. I know all about stainless steel. I wrote the books on them. I wrote health books in the 1980s. I wrote health books in the 1970s. Wow. Your leadership in the so-called conservative movement are eating dreck. God will give me a few more years. It'll be fun. See what these years bring. I don't know. With quite a few fun years ahead for this country. I personally don't know how we survive 10 million illegal aliens from Venezuela, Cuba, Africa. How do we absorb and how do they become Americans? They can't speak English. They're illiterate in their own languages. They hate you. If the plan is as dire as some of you fear, all I can say is I hope not. That they're going to be turned into the Pol Pot army, the Khmer Rouge. They have no loyalty to you or this country. They could be used by an evil dictator to control the population. Why not? The Romans did it. I read that Germany, there's no Germany anymore. It was started by the lesbian Merkel. The lesbian Merkel destroyed Germany. She was the Hitler of the left. She destroyed the German people. She imported all the Muslims she could find and all the Africans she could find who raped their way across Germany. And then after the Germans lost their manhood and they lost their country, now the new one wants to do worse. Today it came out he wants to conscript foreigners into the German military who have no loyalty to Germany, saying that's a good thing. We can get them from anywhere and they'll be good for the military. That's the new breed of leaders now in Europe and NATO. They're all scum of the earth, the worst. They are the new Soviet bastards. Everything that people ran from in the Soviet Union is now reemerging in the EU, the new EU. Okay? What do you have to confirm it somewhere? We're in the Daily News. You have to confirm it in New York Times. Are you kidding me? Okay, I got to get my rice over here. I'm feeling good. Oh, there's Michael Corleone with the hearing again. Oh, it's so boring. I'm so tired of Al Pacino already. Who has a baby at 80 or 81, except an insecure man trying to show he's still potent? Him and De Niro had to show that they could still get it up and have a baby. It's disgusting. Think of the baby, you schmuck. Do you know that, Picasso's son hated him. Picasso had a baby at 80, hated his guts. I'm 81. I would never have another child. Why? What I'm going to do? First of all, you got to understand something. After the age of 50, the DNA is broken by and large. Did you know that? That's where there's so many children being born who are unfortunately sick, very sick. Okay, it's sad. Over the age of 50, male sperm deteriorates and the DNA strands break. Just check it out. Don't say I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I do. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about. I have to put this down here, pardon me, to move my rice over. Just give me a minute. I'll be back with you in a second. Mr. Corleone, blah, blah, blah. How does Coppola remain such a left-wing fanatic? I'll never understand. I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. Okay, that looks nice. See, now I added my nice white rice to the dish, which makes it look better already. Look. Are you enjoying this? I hope you are. Where are you listening to me? Ireland, Spain, Ukraine, the Maine, drain in Maine or Maine. What am I doing? Okay. Delicious. Okay, here we are. So, here we are. Now, I think I'm going to put my red sauce on it right out of a jar. No, I didn't go in the backyard and crush tomatoes with my bare feet to prove I'm so, there are canned sauces that are so good. Why make it? I used to make it from scratch. Nice, great. When you get a prize for it, they got bottles now. I still use this one, even though I don't know who bought it. Carnation, Lipton, I don't know who bought it. Oh, look at that, I could open it with my right hand. Just pour it on, that's all. Oh. There you go. There's a couple of other brands that are quite good. So we'll let that mix itself in, turn up my heat a little bit for my canned sauce. Put a little bit of hot water in it to make sure that I have enough moisture in there. It's going to need a cover on it. I love to take my time cooking. Don't you? And cooking is about the most relaxing thing on earth. Next to sex, wine and rock and roll. That's a joke. I mean, can you take a joke? Can anyone take a joke anymore? Oh, that wine is good. It's a day old. You know, the funny thing is I did pump it. The next day, if you pump it, some wines will hold. I had some great red wine the other night. My God, did I get a hangover. Ugh, it was awful. I just can't drink red wine. I mean, it's expensive as hell. French red wine, sick as a dog, depressed. I know all about it, okay? I know better. Please don't put things you read in my own books from the 1980s. Leave me alone already. How many times do people tell you what you told them? Okay, so you see, that's looking nice. Not a lot of sauce. I don't like it drenched. Can I shut that Corleone off already? I'm so sick of Michael Corleone. The only scene I like is when he cuts his wrists, the other guy, whatever his name is. Who the hell knows? I've seen it so many times. Why are they running it over and over again? Nothing left to watch on TV. Everyone's bored out of their minds. The primary is about as interesting as a pimple on Joe Biden's knee. Primary. Oh, the primaries. Tune in the primaries. Wow, Trump won. Well, actually, it was kind of close. He won by 7,000 votes in a tiny state, where the total vote was equal to about the population of one housing project in the Bronx. I mean, think about what I just said. The entire vote in New Hampshire was equal to about one housing project in the Bronx. And they want you to listen and watch, like, oh, the primaries from New Hampshire, da-da-da-da-da. The deep state brings you the primaries from New Hampshire. Who won? Trump, da-da-da-da-da-da. Here comes Trump Jr., another genius. Oh, what a genius that one is. That's good. That's so good that I will tell you I can now eat dinner in a moment. Well, I just want to do one thing. I could go in my garden and pick some parsley to be a big shot. I'm not going to do it. I really don't care that much to make it perfect. But I will cover my white rice because I'll have a little more later. Keep warm. But the most important thing is that I finish the other quarter of a bottle. I have a half a bottle a night. Since my heart incident, I drink about 2 glasses of wine a night. Sometimes a tiny bit more. And it works. I think I'm going to do a show for you, folks. Let me turn the camera around. Give me 1 second. I got to unscrew this. Hold it. Just bear with me. There's no one here. I'm alone. I could have left it on the thing. There, I mix it with the Pellegrino the second night. It changes the flavor better, for the better. I'm going to put one ice cube in it. I don't have to check a book of whether I'm allowed to. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do a show, but I have to wait a little bit. It may be a show for people who've had heart attacks. It may be called, post heart attack recovery and all of that. People don't know what to do. They're terrified. When you have a heart attack, a real one. But now I'm getting into something I didn't want to get into. You think you're going to die, and you actually almost died. And then you either come back or you don't. And either you get over it or you don't. And either you say to hell with it, or you modify your life, or you don't change anything and you drop dead. But there are things that can be done to keep you healthier and let you live longer. And there are things that are absolutely not to be done post-heart attack, and no one really writes about them. I'm not into the extremist diet, I forget his name. I forget where you eat nothing with animal in it, nothing. Awful. It isn't worth living. And secondly, it's unproven. I forget his name. There's a whole protocol that they do in these recovery things. There's a guy from Marin County. I never trusted the guy. I think he's full of shit. But the whole protocol is, vegan, everything. I'm not against veganism. Don't get me wrong. I know vegan people are super healthy and strong, but it's not for me. Okay, the only thing missing from my dish is a tiny bit of spicy red pepper, which incidentally is extremely good for people, both in cold and flu season and COVID season. It never hurts. A little capsaicin. It works. The capsaicin works. It opens your arteries. It also kills bacteria. So your grandmother was right. Well, that dish is done. It's dry. Say, well, I like it more saucy. I don't. I like it to let it even sit where it becomes somewhat cakey. Look at that. I should show it to you. It's really a masterpiece. I'm very happy with my dish. I hope I've antagonized enough fakers on the right for them to go insane on Twitter again to show you just who they are, what low-life louts they really are, and why the left keeps winning and why they will keep winning. Okay? Why the left keeps winning, the truth about the right. It's a horrible story to tell. Nobody would or could tell it but me. And I thank you so much for listening. Please hit the like button. You can't hit the hate button. I know many of you work for these slanderous fools, and you want to tell me I'm wrong. You could say whatever you want. Okay? It's a free country, isn't it? So can't I say what I want? I don't mind debating and disagreeing with people, but when they start hating, like Bongo did today, I hope Twitter throws him off. I hope that Twitter throws him off for the hate. He threatened me. You can't believe it. You don't know who you're screwing with. Oh, really? Was that a threat, Bongino? I hope not, because you're an ex-Secret Service agent. Maybe you get your old friends in the Secret Service to kill me. Is that what you meant? I hope not, Bongo. I demand an apology, Bongino. And you with your Rumble bullshit? Okay, have a nice day, everybody. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I call them as I see them, whether you like it or not. And so, you know what I mean? Do what you want. But understand, there are consequences to people who say things like that online, like you don't know who you're fucking with? What does that mean, Dan? You're going to come and get me? You're going to hire ex-Secret Service agents to kill me? Is that what you meant, Dan? You better clear it up, because I may turn your tweet over to the FBI, Dan. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow through my lawyer, Dan, whose name is Dan. Good night, Dan. Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy. Danny boy. Hit the like button because I know you like me. Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy.